Where to find AirDrop files on your iPad. I'm going to AirDrop some files from my Mac to the iPad now, and then we will see where these get stored on the iPad. Please note that it doesn't make a difference if you AirDrop files to your iPad from a Mac, an iPhone, or even another iPad. The files will always be stored in the same locations. So with that said, let's dive right into it. First of all, what you need to know is that the location where AirDrop files get stored on the iPad actually depends on the type of file that you're AirDropping. So for example, let us start with photos and images. Where do these get stored on your iPad? For this purpose, I'm simply going to airdrop this PNG image here, and then we will see where we can find that on the iPad. So to airdrop it, I will simply click on it and drag it here onto our airdrop, and I will drag it here to my iPad. On the iPad screen that you can see here in the left corner, first of all, what you can see is when the file actually arrives on your iPad will immediately open up that image or picture. Now basically images and photos get stored in two locations on the iPad. First of all, if you open up the camera on your iPad and then tap on this square here to open up the camera roll, you will see that you will find this file there. So with that said, an image or picture gets saved on the iPad is actually in your camera roll. Secondly, if you open up the Photos app, which I have at the bottom here, you will also see here that at the very bottom we also have our photo. So this is where images and pictures get stored on the iPad. It doesn't matter if it is a PNG image or for example a JPEG. But what about video files? So next let us airdrop this watercolor theme pack dogs pack here. So I will simply left click and drag that to my iPad here. And once it is transferred, again you can see that it will get autoplayed on our iPad, which is pretty awesome. Now when we go back to the home screen and then open up the camera, and then open up the camera roll by pressing here on the square on the right side, you can see that you can find your airdropped video there. However, videos also get stored in the Photos app on the iPad. So when we open up the Photos app, sure enough we will see our video there as well. So for the record, the storage location for photos and videos on the iPad is exactly the same. But what about some text documents, for example? Where do PDF files get stored on the iPad? So let us drop this README file now, and let's see what happens. Now this time on our iPad things look a little bit differently. When we airdrop a PDF file to our iPad, AirDrop is actually asking us how we would like to open up this file. It says open with, but actually what it means here is also how we would like to store this file. And then typically what you would do in this scenario is you would choose files here. So typically you would like to want to save a PDF file to the Files app on your iPad. So we will tap on Files here, and then on the left side the location is iCloud Drive, and that's fine, we can leave it like that, but we could also change it to on my iPad. But in both cases you will be able to find and access this file directly from your iPad. So maybe let us indeed choose on my iPad for the moment, so I will tap on that, and then I simply tap on Save in the upper right corner. Now to find our file on the iPad we obviously have to open up the Files app, and in my case here the Files app is positioned here, so I simply tap on that. Then on the left side we have to change the location to on my iPad, because that's the location we decided to store the file in this case. So we tap on my iPad, and sure enough our README file is there. Please don't get fooled about the dates, because usually it will show the original date here. So this file might be from 2016, and that is why it is showing this date here as well. So please be careful, it might not appear on the very top of the list because of that reason. So PDFs get stored in the Files app. But what about a Word document? Where can you find a Word document on your iPad? For that reason we are going to drop this little Word document here, and let's see what happens. Here as well our iPad is actually asking us how we would like to open up this document, but as we just want to store it, we would like to have this in the Files app as well. So here as well we will choose Files. And for the location you can either choose your iCloud Drive or you can choose on my iPad. Once again I will choose on my iPad here, and I will tap on Save in the upper right corner to store it. This will open up the Google Docs document. We can close that by pressing on Done in the upper right corner of the screen. Then we open up the Files app again. Just a little trick, if you can't find the Files app, what you can do is to swipe down from the middle of the screen with one finger, and you will then get this search field on top, and there simply enter Files. And sure enough the Files app will pop up. You can then just tap on it to open it up. And sure enough, our Word document that we just airdropped to our iPad can be found in the Files app just as expected. Last but not least, let us also drop some audio files to our iPad. This could be some vocals, a song or music, it doesn't really matter. So in this case I have this 3 Crazy Snake Facts audio file here. So we will airdrop that onto the iPad. And once again, when it arrives on the iPad, we get asked how we would like to open this up. But as we just want to store it, we will actually choose Files here. And we can then store it in our iCloud by choosing iCloud Drive, or you can switch that to on my iPad to store it on the local storage of the iPad itself. So once again, we're going to choose on my iPad here, and then tap on Save in the upper right corner to store the audio file on our iPad for good. You've probably guessed it now already. All we need to do now to access this file is to open up the Files app again. Then on the left side you might need to switch over to the right location, because now we are under Recents, but we actually saved it on the local storage, so under Locations I will have to go to on my iPad. Sure enough, our audio file 3 Crazy Snake Facts is safely stored here. And this is where AirDrop files get stored on the iPad. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more iPad tutorials.